All right, so get this. Today, we're going deep on AI and storytelling.
Ooh, sounds intriguing.
Yeah, we've got these two AI-generated stories, both with the same title. Get this. The Cat with the Gat. Stay strapped or lay flat.
No way, same title.
Same title. And get this, each one was made by a totally different AI.
Really?
Yeah. So we're talking about a streetwise cat, kind of like a film noir gangster vibe.
Oh, I'm already hooked. Right.
Right. This cat is fearless, cool as a cucumber, rocking a hat and a tux.
Classic.
But also, and here's the kicker, he's packing a gat.
Whoa, wait, a cat with a gun?
You got it, a gat. And this motto, stay strapped or lay flat.
It's like straight out of a crime novel.
Exactly. And it pops up in both stories, almost like, the AIs were like, this is gold, gotta use it.
That's so interesting. Like they both landed on the same core concept.
Yeah, it makes you think, right? Like, what is it about that phrase?
I don't know. It's got that. It's powerful, right? Like be ready, be prepared,
Or else.
yeah, or else like a warning. The world's a tough place.
Exactly. And you gotta be ready for anything.
Like don't get caught slipping.
Especially in this city, these AIs dreamed up all dark alleys and shady characters lurking around every corner.
It's like they both tapped into this, this sense of danger, this need for self-reliance.
Almost like the city itself is pushing the characters to be tough, to be on guard.
I mean, think about it. Shadows ran thick, cold-blooded does. That's the kind of language they use to describe this city.
Paints quite a picture, right? Like you can practically feel the tension, the grime.
Oh, absolutely.
And in both stories, the cat, he has this face-off with a gang,
Oh, really?
Yeah, a crew in one, and these Thugsies in the other.
Thugsies, that's a new one.
Right. But the thing is, the cat never actually uses his gat.
Huh. So it's more like a deterrent.
Yeah, he's all, don't even try me, I'm prepared.
And it works.
It does. Every time they back down.
It's almost like it's like a commentary on preparedness,
Yeah.
Like just having that that sense of
That you're not going to be messed with.
right. Exactly. That you're not an easy target.
So, I mean, it's fascinating that these two AIs working totally separately.
Yeah.
They both came up with this idea of you got to be ready, you got to stand your ground.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Like, what is it about our culture, about our, collective fears and anxieties that
That these AIs are picking up on.
exactly? It's like they're holding up a mirror to us in a way.
And what they're showing us is, well, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, that's for sure.
Definitely not, but it's definitely thought-provoking.
So how do these AIs even learn to write like this? I mean, rhyming verses, gritty dialogue, it's crazy.
It's mind-blowing, right? Like
Yeah.
they're analyzing mountains of text, figuring out patterns, structures. It's insane.
So they're not just copying, they're actually learning the art of storytelling.
Yeah, like absorbing it, processing it, and then spitting out their own unique take.
So are they storytelling savants?
Well, I wouldn't say savants, but definitely they're tapping into something powerful.
Imagine feeding an AI every crime novel, every gangster flick, every hard-boiled detective story ever written.
It's got to be a wild ride for an AI.
Right. And then they take all that and they create their own cat with a gat.
It's like a remix of all those classic tropes and themes.
And somehow it works. I mean, these stories are engaging, they're suspenseful.
They're fun. I mean, you gotta admit, there's something kind of cool about this cat.
Oh, absolutely. He's the ultimate anti-hero, but with a feline twist.
And that rhyming dialogue, it's like a whole other level of skill.
But it makes you wonder, where's the line between imitation and actual creativity?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Are we all just rehashing old ideas, whether we're human or, artificial intelligence?
It's a head-scratcher for sure.
But hey, maybe that's the beauty of it, right?
How so?
Maybe it's not about being totally original, but about, taking those existing ideas and doing something new with them.
Like jazz musicians riffing off each other.
Exactly. Building on a familiar melody, but adding their own flair, their own style.
So maybe that's what these AIs are doing. Taking those classic genres, those tried and true storytelling techniques, and remixing them in a way that feels, I don't know, fresh, exciting.
Yeah, instead of fearing that AI will replace human storytellers,
Right.
maybe we should see it as a collaborator, a partner in crime, so to speak.
Like a brainstorming buddy with an encyclopedic knowledge of every story ever told.
Exactly. Imagine bouncing ideas off an AI, getting help with writer's block.
That would be pretty awesome, actually.
Right. But of course, we got to be real here. There's a flip side to all this AI magic, right?
Absolutely.
Like, what about the ethical stuff?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
If these AIs can write compelling stories, couldn't they also be used to, like, spread misinformation or manipulate people? It's a valid concern, for sure.
I mean, stories have power, right? They can shape how we think, how we feel.
They can change the world, for better or worse.
And if AI is getting in on the storytelling game, we got to make sure it's playing by the rules.
Big time.
So we need safeguards. We need ways to, like, tell the difference between human-made and AI-made content.
Transparency is key, for sure.
And we need to think about, like, who owns these AI stories?
Yeah, the legal stuff gets tricky.
The programmer, the company. Does the AI have any rights?
It's a whole new frontier, legally speaking.
And what about, like, the impact on human authors?
That's a big one, too.
Like, if AI can churn out novels and screenplays on demand.
Yeah, will we even need human writers anymore?
Makes you wonder, right?
It's a little unsettling, to be honest.
But I think there's still something special about human stories, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Like that lived experience, that emotional depth, that's something AI can't replicate, at least not yet.
It's the human touch, the heart, the soul. Exactly. But, thinking about our Cat with the Gat, it makes you wonder if these AI stories are, like, revealing something deeper about us, about our hopes and fears and, all that stuff.
It's like they're tapping into the collective unconscious, you know?
Totally. So maybe instead of fearing AI, we should see it as a way to, like, understand ourselves better.
That's an interesting perspective.
Like a mirror reflecting back our own anxieties and aspirations.
And who knows, maybe by studying these AI stories, we can learn something new about the human condition.
No, it's a thought to ponder.
It is, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. Like they're holding up this mirror, right?
Yeah.
To, like, all our anxieties, you know?
Totally, but it's not just the themes, is it? It's like the style, the way these AIs write. It's like, whoa.
Oh, yeah. It's like they, like, inhaled all those old movies, you know?
Yeah.
The film noir, gangster flicks, even a little bit of that cyberpunk edge.
Yeah, it's wild, like rhyming verses about a cat with a gat in this gritty city. It's like, how do they even do that?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, did the programmers feed them all those stories?
Or did they, like, figure it out on their own?
That's the crazy part. Like, imagine they had access to, like, everything, right? Shakespeare, comic books, all those novels, movie scripts.
Like they devoured a whole library of stories?
Yeah. And then, like, somehow they picked out the patterns, the elements that make those genres work.
So it's not just copying, it's like they're understanding the structure, the style.
Exactly. Like, they're not just parrots. They're, I don't know, they're like genre masters.
Genre masters, yeah. But then that makes you wonder, where do you draw the line between, like, imitation and actual creativity?
Right. Like, is anything really original?
Yeah, are we all just borrowing from stuff that's already out there?
Whether we're human or, AI.
Exactly. But hey, maybe that's okay.
How so?
Like, you think about those jazz musicians, right?
Yeah.
They riff off each other, they build on those old standards, but they add their own spin to it.
That's a good point.
So maybe these AIs, they're doing something similar with storytelling,
Like taking those classic conventions and remixing them.
And maybe, just maybe, that's how AI could actually help us be more creative.
Really?
Yeah. Like, think about it. It could help us break free from our own, like, preconceived notions about what a story can be.
So instead of replacing human storytellers, it's more like...
A collaboration.
Yeah, a partnership.
Like having a brainstorming buddy who knows everything about stories.
That would be pretty cool, I gotta admit.
Right. We could bounce ideas off the AI, get help with writer's block. Like, it could be a game changer.
Oh, absolutely. But let's not get too carried away here.
What do you mean?
Well, all this AI stuff, it's not all, sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, right. The downsides?
Yeah, like, ethically speaking, there's a lot to consider.
Like, what if someone uses AI to, like, spread fake news or propaganda?
Exactly. I mean, stories are powerful. They can influence people.
And if anyone can use AI to create, like, super convincing but totally fake stories.
That's scary.
It is, right. So we need, like, safeguards. We need to be able to tell the difference between, real and fake.
Definitely. We need transparency.
And then there's the whole question of ownership. Like, who owns these AI stories?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
The programmer, the company, or does the AI have some kind of, like, copyright claim.
It's a legal minefield.
For sure. And what about all the human authors out there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if AI can write novels and screenplays and poems...
Yeah, what happens to us?
Do we just become obsolete?
It's a little unsettling, to be honest.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know. I still think there's something special about human stories, you know?
Me too, me too.
Like that lived experience, those emotions. That's something an AI can't just, like, replicate.
Right. It's like the human touch, the heart and soul of a story.
Exactly. And maybe that's where the future lies, you know?
How so?
Not in replacing human authors, but in finding ways to, like, collaborate, you know?
Like a creative tag team.
Yeah. Yeah. Like maybe the AI can come up with a plot, the characters, the basic structure.
And then the human author can, like, flesh it out, add those emotional layers that human touch.
Exactly. It could be a whole new way of creating stories.
It's kind of exciting when you think about it.
It is. And, you know, it makes me think back to our Cat with the Gat.
Yeah.
Like, maybe those AI stories, they're not just about, like, toughness and self-reliance.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe they're also about, like, the potential for collaboration, for humans and AI to work together.
To create something new, something amazing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And maybe, just maybe, that's the real message here, you know?
That's a great point. But before we get too lost in all this future of storytelling stuff,
Yeah.
let's not forget about the here and now, right?
What do you mean?
Well, we were talking about how these Cat with the Gat stories, it might be reflecting, like, our anxieties, our fears.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So let's dig into that a little deeper, shall we?
Let's do it.
So we've talked about, like, all the tech stuff, the ethical side of AI storytelling.
Yeah, we've really gone deep.
Right. But I want to circle back to our boy, the Cat with the Gat.
Our stylish, gun-toting feline.
Exactly. He's, like, strutting through this dark, gritty city.
With his motto, you know, stay strapped or lay flat.
It's like he's trying to tell us something, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's like the AI is holding up a mirror to, like, to us, to our culture.
Right. Like, on one hand, he's this lone wolf all about self-reliance, you know?
Which, I mean, it's kind of appealing, right? Especially these days, with everything so crazy.
Yeah, like the world's a mess, but this cat, he's got it figured out.
He's in control. He's not afraid. He's ready for anything.
And that message, it resonates, you know?
Big time. Like, we all crave that sense of power, of agency.
Especially when it feels like everything's out of control.
Exactly. So this cat, he's like this symbol of taking charge, of facing your fears.
It's like that classic hero's journey, but with a darker twist.
A grittier, more urban vibe.
Yeah, instead of dragons, he's battling, like, street thugs and corrupt officials.
But the core message is the same, you know? You can overcome adversity if you have the will.
And that's where that stay strapped idea comes in, right?
Exactly. It's not just about, like, having a gun. It's about, like, a mindset.
Like being prepared, being alert, not letting your guard down.
Right, like having that inner strength, that resilience.
So it's not about violence per se, but about being ready for anything.
Like a proactive approach to life's challenges.
Exactly. It makes sense, right? Like we all have that instinct for self-preservation.
That need to protect ourselves, our loved ones.
But it's interesting that both AIs chose, like, a gun, a gat, as the symbol of that.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, are they picking up on something, you know?
Like a sense of danger, of unease in the world.
Maybe, like a feeling that you can't rely on anyone else. You gotta be your own protector.
Yeah, like the cavalry ain't coming, so you better be ready to fight your own battles.
Yeah. It's a bit bleak when you think about it.
It is, but there's also, like, this style, this swagger to these stories.
Oh, yeah, the cat, he's not just tough, he's cool, you know?
He's got that confidence, that I don't care what you think attitude.
And that's appealing, right? Like, we all want to be a little bit like that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, to have that inner strength, that effortless cool.
It's like the AI tapped into that timeless archetype, you know, the rebel, the outsider.
Yeah, the one who doesn't play by the rules but still comes out on top.
And in a way, the AI itself is kind of like that, right?
How so?
Well, it's breaking the rules. It's creating something new, something unexpected.
And it's sparking all these conversations, you know, about creativity, about technology, about what it means to be human. So, like, what's next? What's the future of all this AI storytelling stuff?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to say. It's all so new, so uncharted.
Yeah, but it's exciting, right? To think about all the possibilities, all the stories yet to be told.
Absolutely. But we got to be mindful, too. You know, technology is a tool. It can be used for good or bad.
That's a good point. We need to be responsible to think about the ethical implications.
but we also need to be open to the possibilities, to the ways that AI could, like, enhance our creativity, expand our imaginations.
And maybe, just maybe, help us understand ourselves a little bit better.
That's the hope, isn't it?
It is, it is. Well, folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of AI and storytelling. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those imaginations firing.